Hey guys, let's go build a garden. So we wanted to design a garden that would be very functional and beautiful at the same time. And we wanted it to be fenced in from rabbits and any other animals. We have dogs as well, so we want to make sure that none of our animals can get into the vegetable garden. We'll be growing edibles. And so we designed this garden so we have a fenced in area that goes all the way around. This says 20 by 27. I actually ended up increasing the size of this to 21 by 28. And what you have here is this is actually a bed that I ended up doing 3 by 6s here to build a border on the inside and create this entire space as planting beds so that we could grow all kinds of vegetables all the way around. I have 4 3 by 6 raised beds here in the middle, and then everything you see here throughout this area is walking paths, so we can get around throughout the garden. That would give it that kind of a formal look, but also make it very functional. Now I did this on graph paper, so every square represents 1 foot. I have here, the idea was to have a gate with an arbor. I ended up actually building an arbor. You'll see that in the video as the video progresses. And we're having a custom gate built for this as well. And that's not installed yet, but we should be getting that very soon. Now, what makes this unique is my wife wanted to have an area where she could put her garden bench on the end and then have on the outside of the fence all cut flower beds. And so we've got that installed now, and I used cardboard laid down on top of the grass and then filled that with very thick mulch or very thick compost in order to get the beds established. So I'm going to walk you through the process now, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. This is the area that we're working on. It's a no dig bed. I've got it marked out where my posts are going to go, my corner posts. It's going to be a rectangular shaped bed. Just got some stuff guarding the mulch right now to keep my dogs from getting into it. I've got some cardboard exposed and they like to get into that. So until I get that completely covered, I'm trying to make sure they don't grab the edges of the cardboard. So that's the cardboard layer underneath the mulch. And I'll be moving the mulch out of the way as I lay the beds out and putting compost in its place, and then the mulch will become the pathways. And eventually, as the mulch breaks down, it'll become part of the soil as well. These 3 are down in the hole. They're not set, but so you asked what the purpose of the mulch was. Well, there's a lot of proponents for putting organic matter on top of soil, even on top of grass. Charles Dowding made the no-dig method really, really popular. He's been very successful over in England, just putting down layers of cardboard or 1 single layer of cardboard or layers of newspaper, and then putting on top of that compost, about 6 inches of compost. It kills all the weeds and grass underneath, and you can still plant in the same season in the compost if you have about 6 inches of compost available. But there's also the Back to Eden gardening method, which is basically saying put a thick layer of mulch on top of the ground. It's kind of a long-term solution, and you wait about a year or more to allow that really thick layer of mulch to break down. So I'm kind of doing a combination of the two. I'm going to be using all the mulch in my paths anyway, so we're putting a thick layer of mulch. We've got cardboard underneath, and then I'm going to be placing compost that I've got in the soil cubes over here behind me. I'm going to be placing compost in the bed, or making beds with the compost, so that we can plant this year. But overall, just having all this mulch in the bed is just going to make this a really healthy garden over a period of time. So
So one of the ideas behind the Back to Eden approach, I believe the fellow's name is Paul Gauchi. I think he gardens up in Washington State, and he's a Christian. So he basically puts a biblical principle on how to treat the soil. And so basically the idea is just to look in nature. How do trees grow? How do plants in the forest grow? And you don't see bare soil. You see a lot of organic matter on the forest floor, a lot of leaves, pine straw, needles, broken sticks, rotting wood, a lot of organic matter. And that organic matter breaks down with the microbes and the life that's in the soil. So when we till and when we disturb the soil, we actually disturb the life that's in the soil. But if we provide food for the soil, we're feeding the soil and allowing the soil to feed the plants versus trying to feed the plants with fertilizers and things like that. So that's the idea behind the Back to Eden method. It's been proven, it works well. I've actually tried the method as far as putting thick layers of mulch down and letting that break down over time, and it's amazing the type of soil you get after a year or so when those wood chips and all that organic matter has broken down. So it's amazing what you get from your soil when you feed the soil by putting a lot of organic matter on top. I am a Christian, and I do believe that God created everything. And I believe His glory is shown in creation and in the way all of creation works, and that's especially true. Things like plants and horticulture and understanding how plants and soil work, root systems, the insect world as it relates to plants. So I do like to look at nature and see what it can tell us about how God has designed things. Because surely if He's designed it, it's good. And if it's good, and that's something we can try to emulate, imitate. And everybody wants to grow organically right now, so if we can use methods of gardening that promote healthier ecosystems, then I think that's awesome. Well, we've got all the posts set for the new garden, and I'm tired. It's been a long day, but we've accomplished a lot. So I've got all the posts set. I've got them concreted in. They're curing right now, but they're pretty solid right now. And this is the arbor posts here. We've got bigger holes dug for those, a lot more concrete in the holes for these, and I've got them braced as they're curing, and I've got to pour some more concrete in there to finish out the holes. You can see it's a little bit more water still in there, and I'm going to pour some more concrete in there so to absorb that up. The only thing left to do now will be run our wire, which I need to order this week and get that in, and once the wire gets here I can put that up, and then I'll put the lat boards on the outside of the wire. So anyway, that's where we are right now.